welcome everybody to BREAKY Season 2. Why Season 2, you ask? Because Hannah is now a co-producer.
Oh, thank you guys for that special round of applause.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm learning Adobe.
Hannah's learning Adobe. Hannah is rage texting me about Adobe.
It's insane.
It is insane.
Like, I texted you 90% of Adobe is just clicking until something happens.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay.
And then
And then you're just like, well, I guess that's how you get that result.
When you first texted me with your first issue and you were like so upset, I'm like,
yeah.
it's gonna...
You're like, strap in.
Like,
the first issue was just, I can't find the files.
I can't
like
even
Adobe
put the
does
files
not
in.
recognize any of my files.
And I was like, honestly, great that you got to that point.
I know, you're like, oh, you figured out how to open it? Good job. You opened Adobe?
You
I'm
opened
like,
Adobe. That's great. Actually, I've always loved editing.
I like editing too. It's just very like tedious.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But once you like learn how to do it and then you can just like fuck around, it's like the best.
Yeah.
Do you remember Paint?
Yeah.
I loved Paint.
Yeah, I would spend a lot of time on Paint.
Same.
And like because you could zoom in and make like really intricate things and then zoom out. Yeah.
But then everything similar to Paint that came after Paint, you had to pay for.
Yeah, Paint was for the people.
Paint was for the Paint was for the
It was
peasants.
for the everyday man.
For the working man.
Yeah. Yeah, and then everything after that is for the bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
The royals.
They made editing for the royals.
Yeah. Just like how the Catholic Church wouldn't translate the Bible and the everyday man was like, why can't we have religion? And then Martin Luther nailed an essay to the door on Halloween. He said, religion is for everyone. That's how we feel about editing.
That was all inspired by the Paint.
Yeah.
By Paint
Yeah.
app. Yeah. And
yeah.
now
He was like, he actually nailed Microsoft an MS Paint picture to the door of the church. People thought it was a 99 bullet point essay. It was a picture on Microsoft Paint, and he said, this should be accessible for everyone. And the Catholic Church went, no.
Photoshop went no.
Yeah, Photoshop was like, no, this is going to cost $100 a month.
Yeah. Like, I remember when Photoshop came out, and I was like, well, I guess this is not a hobby anymore.
Yeah.
I guess this isn't fun.
Yeah.
And then Paint was like, we have to peace out. And I was
Yeah.
like, come on.
I also too, I was always like, yeah, I just want to like learn Photoshop, because I would download like illegal versions of it. And then again, just like opening Photoshop, I was like, what is this? I was like, I don't know how to do this.
I feel like, Paint was for fun, and then Photoshop was like only if you went into like editing as your career.
Yeah, if you went to school for it.
If you went to fucking like Ryerson and then you had
truly.
to get
I think my
Photoshop.
cousin went to Ryerson and learned
Photoshop
editing.
Yeah.
She could use. She was the one person I knew who knew Photoshop.
Yeah.
And even she was like, I just like fuck around on this.
Yeah.
And she was a professional.
Yeah. You have
She's
to
like,
commit
there's
your
so
life.
many levels.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
It's not for fun anymore. But now we're Adobe Tech Girl Boss Pros.
We basically know Adobe inside and out. We
I
know how to
actually-
open it. I don't know how to close it yet. I haven't figured that out.
Okay, same. Actually,
I just like have every project I've ever touched open at this point, and I'm like, where do they go?
yeah. No, sometimes because like with Adobe, you open different projects.
Yeah.
I don't know how to like close a project.
There's an option that says close project, but I'm like scared to use it.
Right. 'Cause you're like,
where does it go? No, I just close my laptop and I'm like, all done, and then walk away. All done with Adobe.
I love that for us.
Yeah.
Also in tech news, now that we're in tech season 2
Do you notice
news,
anything different? And how sharp my image is? Well, that's because you're looking at me through an iPhone 15 Pro Max, baby. Stunning. This is the first time I've used my phone because I've had it for over a week and I've been too scared to touch it.
Hannah's been too scared to touch her phone. She wants to get covers and protectors on every part of her
Because
phone.
I also feel like a pilgrim who's just been like plopped down in 2024.
Yeah.
Like I was on a Google Pixel 3. Like that's
I don't even
not
know what that is.
No one does.
Because
It's a wooden block and you stick Post-it notes to it and you call it a phone. I do feel sad leaving my Android people behind though.
Oh, yeah.
They need me.
They need everyone that they have currently to not leave.
Truly.
Because
like
you probably
a
just took away like
and
10%
I'm like,
of the...
I'll never talk to you guys again.
Oh, you're green? I'm sorry, I'm blue.
No, but when I did open it,
Mm-hmm.
because now iPhone uses USB-C, which I love.
Yes.
Because I don't have to get a new cord. And I'm like, oh, I already have 50 of these in my home.
Right.
And the one that came with iPhone didn't work.
Right.
And I was like screaming.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, of course it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Of course iPhone was forced to use a non-iPhone feature.
And it got mad.
And they were like, well, fine, we'll include one, but it's not going to work.
Yeah,
like
Steve
that
Jobs
was their
was
solution.
like, nah,
and from his grave, he's like,
yeah.
include one, but don't make it work. And
I
they're
always,
like, perfect.
I always say that Steve Jobs is working from his grave.
Yeah,
for sure.
He wouldn't quit.
Like they have a Ouija board in the C-suite.
That's so funny.
Yeah. They have to.
That's so funny. He would be furious
if he
knew
mad
that they went to USB-C.
Oh, 100%. He'd be like, what the fuck? We're supposed to be making everyone's lives difficult.
So funny. He's like, in honor, the company like had a meeting. They're like, in honor of Steve Jobs, we are going to make every single USB-C broken in the new iPhone 15 box.
100%. iPhone 16 is going to have like a USB-D. Like they're going to make a new one. There's no way they're doing this again.
Well, didn't Europe force them into it?
I don't know.
This is what I've heard is Europe was like, this is a human rights issue at this point. And they like forced them to use USB-C.
Europe was like,
yeah, they're like, people are dying because like they didn't have an iPhone charger or something. Like one person died and they're like, you guys have to use USB-C now.
They summoned Steve Jobs from the grave and he was like, fine only for iPhone 15.
Yes, yeah, and don't let it work. And they're like, got it. Because at first I was like, is there something I'm missing? Like, is this not? And then I just took my Android charger, put it into my iPhone, worked perfectly. I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a little wink from
game.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you just spent $7,000 on a phone? It's not
well, it was
work.
Steve Jobs saying, hey, Hannah, like you only got here in 2024, so I'm going to punish you because like...
He's like, oh, I'm going to show you how things work around here. You spent your life savings on this phone?
Oh, you're in the cult now?
Yeah.
Oh, this is punishment.
This is how it's going to work. You thought I was dead? I'm not dead.
I just want to say I'm so proud of Hannah for her work.
Aw, I'm so proud of Monica. Monica's a really good teacher. Monica and that, Jamaican guy online?
Yeah, the Jamaican guy fucking slaps. I'm clipping the part where you said Monica's a good teacher, and that's going to be a 3-second clip. And that's going to be it.
What? Okay. Everyone knows you'd be a good teacher.
No, but Hannah was like, because we're co-producers now, and Hannah was like, how do you feel? Or like making it like mine too. And I'm like, it's always been both of ours. Like it just has always been like, not to be weird, but I've been like manifesting a podcast with you since like the day that we met.
That's so cute.
And I asked you to do it 10 times and you were like, no, it's too much work. And
and it is a lot of work.
Yeah. And then I asked you to do it and I'm like, I'll just do everything. And you were like, okay. And then we built what I knew that we could always build. And now we're both on board.
Now
so
we're
it's
both
always,
on it.
It's just always been ours. Like it just,
Yeah. People love this podcast so much that they listen even when they're blocked, which is our biggest credit.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, moving on to the next topic.
That there was a blocked listener and they never stopped listening, and that's how you know it's magic.
We should make that our bio.
Literally.
Even if people are blocked,
it's
they
like
still listen.
A podcast so good you'll listen while you're blocked.
Yeah, you'll listen even if you've been blocked by the Menty BREAKY team.
That's insane.
Yeah,
no one has that.
I don't think anyone has that either.
No. Like if Joe Rogan blocked me, I'd be like, I'm not listening to your podcast anymore,
if someone blocked me, I'd be like, okay, maybe like I should.
Or someone I know.
Yeah. Maybe I should back off.
Yeah, but we're just two
mentally ill girls who have a list of people blocked that still listen to the podcast.
Obsessed with us.
How could you not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How could you not?
That should be our bio. How could you not be obsessed with us, even if we block you and put you in therapy?
Oh, fun. Okay. I wonder how many people have talked about us in therapy.
Oh, that's That's a great question. I wonder if like the people I talk about in therapy talk about me in therapy.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's a whole different crew.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I want to know how many people have brought me up in therapy.
okay, I have to think.
I mean, I'm sure like 2.
Well, I'm trying to think of like the people who go to therapy because there's
there's not that many.
Yeah, there's people who should be in therapy that would then bring me up in therapy.
Yeah.
But they don't.
You tell guys, you're like, can you go to therapy and bring me up?
Yeah.
I'd love to
I
hear
need
what
some
your
clout.
therapist has to say about me.
And then can you tell me so I can make it a Menti Breaky credit?
Yeah.
We just have like, that's our bio. It's like a list of how many people have brought us up in
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah. If you bring us up in therapy, let us know.
Let us know if you bring us up in therapy. What do you guys talk about? How
So unhinged. Let us know if you brought us up in therapy.
Write in.
Thanks.
DM us.
That's insane. Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk next topic?
Let's talk next topic, girlfriend.
Because I want to hear about your unposted thirst trap.
Oh, okay. I messaged Hannah the other day and I said, Hannah, I'm posting a thirst trap today. And I gave her like around the time that I was posting it so she could be online to like it and comment. And I was like, let's pray to the Instagram gods that all of my boyfriends who do not know that they are my boyfriends will see it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Then I just like got a vibe from like, I think the Instagram community and vibes that like it was not the day to post. And then my crush didn't view my stories that whole day. And I was like, wow, like this was a sign.
Yeah.
Because like imagine you post your thirst trap. You obviously promote it in your story, right? And then your boyfriends who don't know that they're your boyfriends don't even look at the story. Heartbroken.
Yeah, that would be tough. I was messaging you like, where is this thirst trap? Because I was super excited because I was like, what even is a thirst trap to Monica?
Here's what
I'm so curious.
Let me explain a Monica thirst trap. A Monica thirst trap is like not your obvious thirst trap, okay? It's like hidden within the dump.
Oh, I see.
So you have a dump.
Yeah.
You have 10 pictures in a dump.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back and talk about curating the perfect photo dump.
Oh, okay.
So a photo dump should be like someone's looking at my photo dump being like, wow, her life is perfect. She's so cool. She's so fun.
Yeah, like I try and really go for like, wow, her life is exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
She's having fun.
Yeah, she's having a good
she
time.
has so many friends.
She's not on antidepressants.
No.
Why would she be on antidepressants?
She
Look.
just must go to sleep smiling at night.
Yeah, she must.
Thanking God for another day in her life.
Look at all her friends.
Yeah.
Look
at all the shit she's done.
I'm actually like, I have a joke that I'm working on where it's like, I'll look at my own pictures and
Yeah.
be like, wow, I was so happy. I gaslight myself.
Yeah.
Into thinking like
Yes.
how good my life is based on my photo dumps and photos.
Yeah.
So that's how you curate a dump. Now, within the dump of like, wow, her life is so great, wish I was her, you have 10 pictures, right? You have to utilize the whole dump because you can't dump every day. You dump like...
Oh, once a month or something.
Yeah, like...
Not even...
Sporadic.
Yeah. I don't dump very often.
You also have to like get to a point in your life where you have like 10 enough pictures that like your life actually looks good, which like could take long.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
sometimes if someone posts like a 3-picture dump, I'm like, okay, you just
Yeah.
had like one good night.
Exactly. You need 3.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you get to like your 10 picture dump. 3rd or 4th picture, sneak in a little thirst trap.
Yeah.
Very undercover. So it's like the first, you're not going to go to my profile and be like, wow, thirst trap.
Now, sometimes I'll do first picture thirst trap.
Yeah, you will. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like first
You
picture.
sneak it in.
Yeah, wow, fun, professional. She's a
Yeah.
comedian, is killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Second picture, funny. Look how fun she was partying. She has a nice life.
Mm-hmm.
Third picture,
She was
thirst trap.
partying. Well, that one's a lie. Okay.
Third picture, but like thirst trap is also like, for me, it's like a black tank top.
Yeah, and your hair has been straightened.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a Monica thirst trap.
Yeah.
Black tank top, hair is done.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll just throw these in your stories.
Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, and then you get the feedback you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll do a first picture thirst trap
Yeah.
because I like to see, because I think it hooks the people, and I'm like, there might be more.
Interesting.
There might be some more in here, and then I'm
Right.
like, this one's funny, this one's,
Like
party.
now look at my personality.
Yeah, and then, picture 5, I'm like, all right, I'm hot again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
like to
back
do it
here.
that way. But then it depends, what you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the boys to be turned on, or do you want to be laughing?
I want the boys to be intrigued and then get to like picture 3 or 4. Like they earned it. They earned it.
See, I used to do that.
Okay.
I used to do the earned it, but then I feel like some people like fall off after picture 2.
Right.
And then I also would realize whatever your first picture is going to be the one on your
Yeah.
feed.
Yeah,
or
that's-
whatever.
that's the one.
So it has to be one you're in love with.
Exactly.
But you can delete pictures now.
But you can't add new ones.
You can't add new ones and you can't rearrange, but you can delete. And then they're like, once you delete it, it's permanently deleted. But I'm like, some of these photos are crap, and I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed to have them in this dump.
Yeah.
So I've been going through deleting some.
That's beautiful.
And then other ones I'll delete because I had like a shit one as the first one. I'll like delete all the ones till my good one.
Right.
So then I'll have a good picture on my thing.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So my curated dump. This is for the people. I don't know if it'll be posted by then or not.
I hope so.
But my first one is my picture from Don't Tell Comedy.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then you go to one that's fun, and then you get to a thirst trap if you've made it that far on like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's good.
It's so funny. I posted. It wasn't a thirst trap, but it was like from when I like went to that wedding. So I was like all dressed up, and literally like all my boyfriends messaged me.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know it's like a successful.
Yeah.
When
they're
all
in
of your
the DMs.
boyfriends, are in the DMs.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy.
You're
well,
like,
I can't
you're
wait.
so unstable.
Well, I was like, hey, you should post a thirst trap for yourself, and you're like, don't be stupid.
Well, because I was like, one of my 10 boyfriends didn't view my stories.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to wait it out until he's like back online. And Hannah's like, you should really post the photo dump for yourself. And I was like, nah.
Healthy. So healthy.
Menty breaky. I was talking to one of our friends in comedy, and he was like, you and Hannah, like, you're such lovely ladies, like, you're so funny.
Aww.
And like, you should just like focus on yourselves, and like you'll find like the right man, like you'll attract the right man if you guys just work hard and focus on yourselves. And I was like, nah,
no, we want to obsess over men.
that's not really our
us.
style.
Yeah.
It's not really in our repertoire
thank
of
you.
activities. We have a repertoire of
Yeah.
activities. That's not one of them.
I'm putting this on the ground. I won't forget.
Okay. It's Hannah's coffee. Hannah's coffee is like a...
It's it's our weekly guest.
Yeah. It's a staple of the show.
That's so funny. I want you to have a stupid story.
Okay. Hold on.
We have to adjust the headphones for this stupid story.
Did you know
Go on.
that you can't put diesel fuel in a non-diesel car?
No. Why, Monica?
Did you know?
Yes.
Just a question.
Were you just trying it out?
Okay. This was years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I worked
Mhm.
like as a CPA, as an accountant, and for one of my jobs I had to rent a car. So I rented a car from Enterprise, and you fill it up with gas like on the way back. So I go to the gas station, and I was like, oh, the diesel fuel is like cheaper than the other fuels.
Yeah. For years it was.
Let's fucking go. There's no sign. How did you learn that?
When I first started driving, my dad said you put in regular, and once in a while you put in premium.
Okay, so
And then I'm sure I was like, diesel fuel is cheaper. And he was like, well, this is not a diesel car. I think that's all I needed to know. Crazy. So you just thought it was like another option.
Yeah.
But it is separate. In every place, it's separate.
Okay, so
So, I mean,
your
that should
point?
be like a hint.
I was just like, okay, it's the cheap one.
Oh, you're like, this is the super cheap one, so it gets
Yeah.
its own little section.
Exactly. And I honestly had no
we
idea.
don't want it hanging out with these fuels.
Yeah, we don't want to hang out with these fuels.
It also just sounds different, though, you know?
It also is like a whole different setup.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, it's a fucking gas. Who the fuck cares? Because I also had no idea. I was like, why would someone put like more expensive gas in their car?
Yeah, that should have been the thing that made you stop and pause. You're like, hey, why is everyone just putting this expensive stuff in their car?
Yeah.
You should have told everyone. You're like, guys,
I
just
did
use
actually.
these-
No, I made a TikTok video.
No.
Like a couple years ago, and I was like, why the fuck would you use the more expensive fuel? It got 400,000 views, and there were all these men in my comments being like, you fucking dumb bitch.
Of course.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Did you say use diesel, or did you just say use the
No.
cheap gas? Okay.
I was just like, why would you put in premium? Like, that's so
Oh,
stupid. And then all
yeah.
these men were like, you're so stupid. And then I was
Yeah.
like, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
It was one of my most viral videos.
that's so funny.
So I'm driving my Honda Civic that I rented
Mm-hmm.
from Enterprise, and I'm on my way back from the job, and you fill it up with gas like before you bring it back to Enterprise. So I go, oh, the diesel's cheaper. So I fucking fill up the Honda Civic
Mm-hmm.
with diesel, drive it back to Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, I get a call from Enterprise, and they go, hi, Monica. Did you happen to fill up the Honda Civic with diesel fuel? And it was in that moment that I knew that you do not fill up
my
a Honda
God.
Civic with diesel fuel. So I was like, no, obviously not. Why the fuck would I do that? Are you crazy?
And what did they say?
And then they tried a different approach. They were like trying to be nice. They're like, you're not liable. Like, you rented it under the company name. Like, it would be nothing. And I'm like, my company fucking hates me, bro.
Yeah.
My company, if they found out I did this, they would cover me in diesel fuel
Yeah.
and they would set me on fire.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no. And they were like, well, that's weird because
It's full of diesel fuel.
yeah, they were like,
and you're the only one who's driven it.
that's literally what they said.
Oh my God.
And I was like, mystery to me. Mystery to me. Don't know how diesel fuel could have gotten in the engine, because I was like, in my head, I was like, you have no proof.
Yeah. Well, other than the car being full of diesel fuel.
And me being
you
the last
being
one
the only one to drive it.
Yeah, but I was like, you don't have film.
Yeah.
Someone could have snuck into your dealership and just put
Yeah,
diesel
that's
in the
probably
Honda
what
Civic.
happened. Yeah. Brutal.
So they were like, just tell us, like, it's okay. Like, you're not liable. And I was like, no idea what you're talking about. And then I hung up the phone and I never heard from them again.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do. And
There's
like
nothing
it
they
would
can
just
do.
be like at that point, if they really wanted to, they should have just charged the company, like whether you admitted to it or not. It was like the car is full of diesel fuel and Monica drove it.
I
Like-
guess so. But I think then they would have come to me and I would have just been like, no, I didn't do it.
I mean, like that. I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
like their only option.
I know.
They
Well-
can try and do that. Maybe they did and it just didn't work. But like you admitting it or not is
Yeah.
not gonna like
Like
put
change
diesel
it.
in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But
Yeah,
I was like,
you just have
everyone's
to lie.
rich. Like, I work for a rich company. Fucking Enterprise can let go of one Honda Civic. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah, you destroyed the car.
I think I actually destroyed the car.
I think it does. Like if
Yeah.
you put it in the
The
car.
whole engine.
Yeah.
But like, thank fucking God, I learned that through trial and error on a rental car, and then I didn't admit
Yeah,
to
thank
it.
God. Thank God I ruined someone else's situation and not my own.
But I was like, where did everyone learn this?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
know. It's just like I don't have a specific memory. I think maybe when I was a kid, I
I
was like,
actually-
oh, diesel fuel is so cheap. And it's like, oh, well, that's a special one.
I actually think I would have gotten fired because they would have been like,
That's so funny.
I think they would have been like, we can't have you as like an accountant,
You're
like
putting-
doing work if you're this stupid. Like, I really,
Yeah.
it's like, it's crazy. I'm like, how am I a CPA, a chartered professional accountant, and I have to go to a doctor to find my clitoris?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I talk to you, I'm always like shocked at the stuff you don't know.
Same.
It's just like everyday stuff that you're like,
Like, how did I get
there's
here?
like such lapses. And then, but then you're like a CPA working for like a huge company.
I don't get it either. I also like don't know how to do taxes.
Me either, but
But
I feel
I'm a
like
CPA. I don't know how to do taxes. And I don't know
isn't
where
it
my
a different
clitoris
thing?
is. I went to a doctor.
That
and
one is insane.
I filled up my car with diesel fuel.
Yes. Taxes is
How did I get to 30?
taxes and being a CPA are two different things, and I've learned that from you.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
Because I like came to you for help on my taxes, and you're like, can't help you there.
Yeah.
No idea.
But I think we got to a point where like I knew enough that I could like give you advice based on like your situation, based on like kind of what I knew, but like I still like can't actually.
But
And
like being an accountant and personal taxes are two different things.
yes.
Like,
And what's funny too is like as a CPA, I'm actually legally not allowed to do someone's personal taxes
oh, interesting.
unless I'm like qualified because
Right, because
anything
it's a
that I
different
give you,
thing.
anything that I give you is now under a CPA name. So if I give you the
Got
wrong
you.
thing and you're like, well, a CPA did this, then I get my license revoked.
oh, wow. But then there's also that line on your taxes, like whoever I bring it to is not liable. I'm liable.
Yeah,
So
but
even if you bring it to someone who fucks them up, they just
Right.
are like, well, sorry, I tried my best, which is insane.
yeah, I think it's like if you got in
But
some
because
kind
you
of
have a
a
title,
CPA,
yeah,
it's
then
like
it's
kind of
like,
different.
yeah, because it's like getting a doctor's advice on something that they're not qualified to give, and then they're wrong. It's like, okay, but you're a doctor. You shouldn't
Yeah.
have never given your advice.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm just amazed every day you're here.
Honestly, same. The yin and yang.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm like, am I autistic?
I wonder.
'Cause, like the thing is like I don't mean to like, because I feel like listeners are going to listen to this and be like, ooh, she said the word like autism, but it's like we're kind of all on the spectrum at some point. I don't
Oh,
think
I
you're on the
see.
spectrum at all.
No.
I don't think you have one
I'm
ounce
like the
of autism.
opposite of autism.
What's the opposite of autism?
I feel everything. I don't know. Empath. I hate that
Do
word.
autistic people not feel things?
Well, they don't like really understand
Oh, that's
emotion
me.
in the same way.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, why is that person crying right now after they receive bad news? Like would be confusing to them, I guess.
Interesting.
They just like see the world as very like factual.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, this is the truth and this is not the truth. This is the rule and this is breaking the rule.
Right.
So like if they're like so and so died, they'd be like, okay, they're not alive anymore. Instead of being like, oh, what's my life gonna be like without them? Whereas I like can't think factually or logically at all.
Right.
I only can think with emotion, which is like a thing of ADD people, which I'm recently diving into for myself, just because I think I have a really severe ADD. And the more I research it, the more I'm like, I really struggle with this stuff in all aspects of my life, work, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very emotional person, but I can't. What is it? Executive function. I have nothing. That's why I'm late for everything. I'm like disorganized because like to me, like I can't even conceptualize what 30 minutes is. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'm like, okay. And then I'm
Honestly,
there an hour late and I'm like, I don't know what happened.
yeah. As your co-producer now, I'm like, oh yeah.
But it's kind of sad because people think you don't care and I'm like, no, I care a lot.
Right.
But I just like don't have, and I can practice it and like try, but there's like an executive function that I just like don't have, where it's like staying on task and like
Right.
being like, this is 10 minutes, Hannah. You can't possibly do all the things that you want to do in this 10 minutes.
Right.
You need to prioritize. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I also can't prioritize.
Yeah.
Like I'll be the one that's like
Yeah.
I truly, like if I sit down and like look at a list, it
Yeah.
like takes me a minute to be like, what's the most important thing? And one of those things could be like, stop your apartment from flooding. I'm like, right, I should be doing that and not like watching a TikTok.
I think that's why we work so well together.
We're
Because, like,
opposites.
we're literal opposites because I'm literal like list queen and then you're like creative queen and like I'm still creative and you're still like can get shit together.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
It's not our strong suits. We have different strong suits.
We have different strong suits. So you're like,
but that brings us to this topic.
what topic?
Earplugs. That brings us to a funny thing.
Oh yeah, funny thing that you were like, I have a point that I'm gonna add to this in
I
the
will.
earplug
So you can
story.
say your earplug story, and then I'll add my point because it's a perfect representation.
I'll say my earplug story.
Yeah.
It's a perfect representation of our mental illnesses.
Yeah.
So, Hannah and I, this is probably one of my favorite stories of our friendship, if I'm being honest.
Go on.
Hannah and I went to Mexico together, and I brought 50 earplugs.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I do. You never know.
An insane amount of earplugs.
You never know.
She brought it for the whole hotel.
Yeah.
She's like, in case there's construction and everyone in the hotel needs a pair, I've got us covered.
I like to have a backup earplug. You lose them in the bed. You lose them on the ground. If it touches the ground in the hotel, you can't use it again. That's disgusting. So I have all my earplugs, okay? Hannah fucking looks at me.
A Ziploc bag of earplugs. I'm like, Monica, you're out of your goddamn mind.
She goes, Monica, you're out of your mind. Why do you need that many earplugs, Monica? You don't need that many Monica, why do you have so... Making fun of me, right?
Okay.
Then...
I'm not evil.
Monica,
you're so dumb.
You're fucking autistic.
But I was just like,
bitch.
you have a bag full of earplugs.
Well,
this is insane.
Let's get to the next part of the story,
Yeah.
okay? So I have my bag full of earplugs. I'm like...
So I'm walking through Mexico City with my bag full of earplugs.
I'm vibing, okay? Hannah's like, why do you have so many earplugs? I'm like, you know what, Hannah? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Evening time comes. Hannah starts looking for her one pair of earplugs.
Yeah.
She goes, where are my earplugs? I'm like, I don't know. I have 50. I'm fucking chilling. I'm ready to go to bed with my 50 earplugs. Looking for her earplugs, can't find her earplugs, looking in her bag, like kind of starting to freak out. I'm internally like rejoicing because I'm like, look at this fucking bitch and her one pair of earplugs, right? This is why I bring 50. So then eventually, I think it took you like an hour.
Because I was like, I keep earplugs on me because I have to have earplugs to sleep. So I'm like, no, there's no way I would have forgotten them. There's no way. So I was like, it took me an hour to be like, I'm going to check every pocket a million times because I'm like, it has to be here. I wouldn't forget earplugs.
Hannah's racing around the room. I can feel the panic setting on. And I'm just like sitting on the bed with my baggie of 50 earplugs, just so calm. Finally, eventually, turns to me. Monica, can I borrow a pair of earplugs?
And I was like, yes, I would be delighted to give you a pair of earplugs.
Well. Look who bit the hand that's feeding them now.
Who's plugging their ears.
Oh, it was...
Look who bit the fingers plugging their ears.
It was one of my favorite moments in our friendship. Just such joy. Just
I know.
Such
I was
joy.
so mad I had to ask
I was
like,
sitting
why
on
would
the
anyone
bed.
need more than one pair of earplugs?
I was sitting on the bed watching her. It was just like, you know those moments in friendship where you're like, this is just the fucking best.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just actually, like, it still fills my heart with joy to think about it.
And then Monica always goes, now.
Oh, this is your add-on?
Well, there's two things. Well, now you always go, like, whenever I'm like, okay, you're a bit too prepared. You're like, well, the earplugs, Hannah. And I'm like, all right, relax.
True, the earplug.
Like, I can't hear the end of these earplugs.
I swear to God, we're going to be 80 years old in a retirement home, and you're going to, like, fucking need a new pea soup, and I'm going to be like, remember the earplugs. And
you're going to have 50 pea soups in front of you and be like, well.
Well, look who wants a pea soup now.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the earplugs. This is...
And Hannah can't do anything.
But you also say, you're always like, I'm always overprepared and you always need stuff. I'm like, you just have the earplugs example. And you're like, no, there's others. I just can't think of them right now.
I think what I mean is, like, you'll sometimes, like...
I know, anytime I question you now, you're like don't even, because you needed my earplugs. I'm like, fine. Like, I can't question Monica's overpreparedness.
No, it'll be like in a loving way, because like this is what you do. Like, you'll like make fun of me in like a loving way, right? And then I'm just like, earplugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, but then my story is Monica also is overprepared for everything, but Monica also thinks she knows everything she does and doesn't like for the rest of time. Yeah. And like every time I'm like, oh, can we do this? And you're like, no, that's a boundary. I don't like it. I'm like, oh, well, you've never actually fucking tried it. So I once was like, let's go to the CNE, and she was like, I actually hate the CNE, and I think the whole thing should be burned to the ground. I was like, well, how about we just go? How about we just go, Monica? And she had one of the best days of her life. Sorry, the CNE is the Canadian National Exhibition. It's just a little fair in Toronto.
And
it's
they
a
had
fun
a
fair. And they had literally all of Monica's favorite things there.
They had Licks
They had
burgers.
like we went on ride. She got her precious Licks burger. Literally never seen Monica smile this big in her life. And I'm like, okay, I guess you hate this place.
They had slushies.
Slushies and everything.
Hannah and I
And
went,
ahead of time, Monica's like, no, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna have a horrible time, but I'll go because you're my friend.
I think we were there for 12 hours.
We literally left and went back on the same day.
We did.
And Monica was like, I want to go back.
We left to like we left to do shows.
And then Monica's like, do you want to go back? I want to go back. I was like, okay.
And then I had another show, and I was like, Hannah, I want to go to the CNE instead.
Yeah, so that's why we're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
Because I force you to have experiences you might not have had and you might enjoy. And you over prepare and are logical in ways that I am not.
Yeah, you forced me to have a nice time.
Yeah.
And then I forced you to
look at things logically.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
And not
sometimes
just
I
emotionally.
Can't. Yeah, sometimes.
I know, but that's the thing, because sometimes you're like, I'm not gonna like this, and you don't like it,
right?
Because you're like, I've done the research and I don't like it. But sometimes I'm like, throw that research out the window, Monica.
And honestly,
we're about to have the best day at the CNE.
Even if I don't have a nice time, I have a nice time with you.
Aww, so sweet. Nope,
that was not the right sound. But yeah, and like what I meant was sometimes like you're so all over the place that I cannot bring you back. But someone was even like listening to this podcast and they were like, Hannah's like all over the place and you're like, you like ground her kind of, but then she also brings you like,
I bring you along for the ride sometimes.
Yeah, and
I'm like, how about we go on this fun ride?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't like rides. I'm like,
and then you take me on the ride.
And then sometimes you don't like the ride. So we discovered that at the CNE. You're like, I hated that one. I was like, good to know.
But yeah, sometimes you take me on the ride, and then sometimes I'm like, Hannah, maybe we should like walk for a little, and then you'll walk for a little, or you'll sit down and.
If anything, you're like, maybe we should rest for a little.
Yeah, rest.
Because I've been like walking for hours.
Right.
I've been wandering for hours, and you're like, how about we have a sit down, and then we have a great sit down.
Yeah, that's a great example of us. And I think that's it for this week.
That's got to be it.
That's got to be it. This is long. Hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe it'll be long because it's like season 2, episode 1.
We give you a little extra off the top.
Extra off the top. I mean, we haven't been here for a few weeks. We owe you.
Diesel in with that, guys.
Yeah, just throw a little diesel.
Top it up with diesel.
Balance it out with the premium. I think if you put premium and diesel in at the same time, you get normal.
You know what's so funny is all of the things. Sorry, this is just going back.
Go ahead.
Because I was going to be like, write in, tell us when you learned not to use diesel. But I'm like, everyone's just going to be like, yeah, I just knew.
Well, you knew when you learned. Your dad told you.
But I'm like, I don't have a memory. But it's same with like, when did I learn where my clit was? I'm like, I just knew.
Okay, if you do have a timestamp.
If you have a story of when you learned where your clit was or when you learned not to use diesel.
Right.
Let us know.
Let us know. Oh, also I put a poll being like, have you ever been spray tanned in your butthole?
Yeah, and a lot of people were like, none of your business. That means yes.
No, only me. I voted none of your business on it.
Oh, so like.
Everyone else said no.
Oh,
I got like 10,000 no's. I got 1 yes.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to the one girl that can relate to.
It was your spray tanner. The girl that does it.
And on that note, we also have a new YouTube channel. I worked really fucking hard on the Canva.
So
it looks so good. I just stare at it all day. Please follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe to us on fucking Spotify and Apple and wherever you listen. And please follow us on Instagram at MENTY'S Season 2, baby. Here we fucking go. Hannah's co-producing and learning Adobe. Thank you guys.
Yay, bye.